Yo, what's up guys, hope you guys are doing good. So today we are going to see what if Naruto fell in love with Anko part 1. Hope you will enjoy this video, so before we start please like the video and subscribe to our channel and hit bell notification, it motivates me to upload more fanfics for my lovely audience. So let's get started. In this story Anko and Kurenai are age 15. Anko was just get found by Anbu after she get the curse mark. Naruto just passed the school with all of the other 8 rookies, which they are 15 as well. So how is young Anko doing? Sarutobi asked one of the medic shinobi that in his office. Medic shinobi turned to the Hokage because Anko has been through a lot. She is going to be fine and she'll be here in a little bit. Medic shinobi told the Hokage, but he wonders why his ex-student would do something like this. Then there was knock on the office door. Come in, Sarutobi said to the person that was knocking. The door opens and an Anbu who looks at the Hokage then walks in with a brown raven hair wrong girl with red eyes came into the office. Hello Hokage-sama, the Anbu said to the Hokage, but he was now wondering who this girl was alongside the Anbu. Who is this girl? Sarutobi looked at girl and then asked the Anbu. Her name is Kurenai Yuhi and her mother and father and also her little sister was killed today by a bomb, but no one know who did it today. Also her brother is Drake Yuhi the flaming demon that is a missing shinobi, so she has no place to go to. He told Hokage and he nodded. Miss Yuhi, do you want live with a girl that same age as you and that is no one too? As the Hokage asked her she nodded to her to him. Then there is a second knock on the door and medic shinobi come in with a purple hair with brown eyes. Miss Anko, I have good news. Miss Kurenai Yuhi be living with you. I hope you don't mind, but her mom dad sister was killed today and she needs someone because her older brother is not in the village, he a missing shinobi. Sarutobi asked Anko. That will be fine if she lives with me Hokage-sama. As Hokage heard that he smiled and told her thank you. Please Hokage-sama. A second Anbu walked into the room. The Hokage turned to the new face in the room. What is it? The new Anbu just stares at the Hokage before his mouth before to move again. I would like it if both of them lived with me. The two girls are shocked that he wants them to live with him. Why would I do that? Hokage asked with a sharp look. He takes his mask off and he had long red hair with red eyes. Because I am Drake Yuhi the flaming demon and I like if my sister would live with me and I like Anko to live with us because I don't want her be all alone. Hokage looked at him and Kurenai was shocked her older brother was back, but he was a half brother, but she thought of him as a full brother. His mother was her mother, but their mother get raped by CG Uchiha and she had Drake because of that. But to Kurenai he was her brother that she loved. He left when she was 2 but she remembers him being nice to her. Why should I trust you? Hokage is said in a pissed off voice. That makes Anko scared and worried. If I was here to hurt you or anyone, I would have done it by now. After Drake said that, Sarutobi smiled and said, welcome back Drake, it's been 10 years. One more thing Hokage, I would like if both of them was on my team to train and I would like Naruto Uzumaki. Drake asked Sarutobi and he nodded, causing Drake told him thanks. Let's get going you two. Both of them nodded and followed him out. At the training ground the next day, Naruto was sitting there waiting for his new team. As he was sitting there he sees 3 people coming. Few seconds later they finally get to him, but he looks at them with eyes that scan over the 3 of them. Sorry we are late, Drake said to Naruto, but he just shrugs and looks back at them. Naruto noticed the 3 people. The first one was a girl, her head was little higher than his neck. She had purple hair with brown eyes. Her hair looked great on her and he moved his eyes to her lips and thought how good it must be to kiss that kind of lips. The other girl was cute, she had brown raven hair with red eyes. Then he notices his sensei, he had long red hair with red eyes. The 2 girls looked at Naruto to see he wears a lot of orange and has blonde hair with beautiful blue eyes. Let's sit down and get to know each other, I go first. They all sat down, causing Drake to begin talking again. My name is Drake Yuhi, my likes are young women and women, my dislikes are assholes and perverts, and my hobby is helping women out, and my dream is learn all the fire jutsu in the world. Your turn, my little sister. My name is Kurenai Yuhi and my likes are nice people and flowers, my dislikes are perverts and assholes, my hobby is kissing boys and my dream be the best genjutsu shinobi in the world. My name is Anko Mitarashi. She get cut off by Naruto when he said, cute name Anko, which then made her blush a little. My likes are sweet people, as she seen that she look at Naruto, which is now his turn to blush a little. My dislikes are perverts and backstabbers like the man that hurt me badly, and my hobbies are trying not to be hurt again, and my dream is to have a family and find someone I can love. My name is Naruto Uzumaki and my likes are ramen and training. The thing I like the most is cutie girls. He looked at both of them when he said the last part and both of the girls blushed. My dislikes are perverts and people who hate other just because something that happened and they can't not control. My hobby is to make sure my two cute teammates don't get hurt, and my dream is to be the Hokage so everyone looks up to me and not hate me or fear me. Everyone, I have to go and I see you two at home and you tomorrow at 7 a.m. right here, Naruto-san. Drake leaves in a wave of flame. I have to go, Kurenai said, and she leaves too. It's just us, Anko-chan. Naruto looked at her. Yes, I guess so, Anko said as she was looking at him. Naruto turned to face Anko. Naruto could not look away, it was like her eyes was drawing him, kept looking. Anko thought, how come he looking at me like that? Does he like me? Naruto moved closer to her and she moved back. Anko, are you scared of me like everyone is? Then she started to wonder, everyone scared of him, why? Then she moved closer as if her legs and heart had a mind of their own. Naruto moved closer and put his arms around her lower back and started to hold her. Anko looked up into his blue eyes and her lips more closely. Naruto moved closer and their lips touched and Naruto pushed down on her sweet lips. He moved his tongue to her lips looking for a way in. She opened her mouth to let his tongue in. As their tongues play with each other, Naruto ran his hands through her beautiful purple hair. Anko hands moved to his head and are grabbing his blonde hair. As they kissed ended, Naruto said in her ear, I guess you find the person to love. She blushed and told him. I guess you right, my Naruto-kun. Let me walk you home, Anko-chan. And she nodded. As their walk to her new home, they walk hand in hand. People in the village given Naruto evil looks and Anko yelled at them, stop giving him looks like that, you assholes. People moved back in shocked, and as they get to the house, Naruto kissed her good night and walked off. She watched him leave till he was out of her sight. As she walked into the house, she seen that both Drake and Kurenai was sitting there smiling at her. Why you two smiling like that? That was one nice kiss he gave you, Drake said with a little smile. Anko now was beet red. How do you know that? Anko said before she ran to her room and closed the door. At the training grounds, Naruto was now training. He was trying to learn his father jutsu, the Rasengan. He has known who his father is and that he is Kyuubi for about 4 years now. That is why he will never give in to hate or anger. He will never let the death of his father go in vain. He will be a strong shinobi no matter what. All he wants in life is someone to love and to make his mother and father proud of him. That is why he trying to be the next Hokage. After Naruto finally made the Rasengan and now he knows how to use it right, and it only take him about month and a half. Naruto thinking to himself, now, I think it time to go to sleep. He starts to walk home. When he gets to his place, he opens the door and there is a girl in his place crying. Why are you crying and how did you get inside my home? He looks at the girl with red hair, but he notices one little thing. She has 2 fox ears that are red with a long red fox tail. I tried to find my mommy but I only found this, but her scent is all over you. Do you know where mommy is? Naruto looks at her but he slowly realizes that she's one of the daughters of Kyuubi. He slowly knees down and pulls her into a hug. Your Ka attacked the village 15 years ago and ended up being sealed in a newborn baby. She's sealed inside of me. She looks back up at him before moving her head against his chest, but he heads someone behind him, but before he could do anything he feels a cold metal blade at the back of his neck. So we just have to kill you and she'll be free. He looks back at the voice but can't see anything thanks to shadows. If you kill me then she die with me. I don't think you want your Ka to die to you. Can we stay with you, big brother, so we can stay close to mommy? He looks back at the younger of the two. He can tell by their voices, but he hopes the older one doesn't kill him. He really doesn't feel like dying at the age of 15. Sure, but you have tell other person behind me not to kill me then. She looks up to the person behind him with kitsune eyes. Please don't kill him. I want to have a big brother. The blade slowly leaves his neck. He slowly lets out a breath. What are your names? The kitsune that's around his age smiles before he can see her mouth starting to open. My name is Suki. He smiles, but he hears moving behind. He then sees her walking past him and slowly turns to face him. She was beautiful, that's only word that could come to his brain when he sees her. She had long red hair that goes to her butt, with two red slit eyes just like her little sister. She has a dress that covers everything up, but he wishes it didn't because her chest even being covered is big. My name is Blaze and I don't care who you are. You may have my ka inside of you, but doesn't change fact you just a worthless human to me. Her eyes stare at him, but he doesn't get why she hates humans so much like this. Why do you hate humans so much? I never asked for this hell of a life that I'm living thanks to having her sealed inside of me. She's taken back by his eyes when he talks because it filled with pain and loneliness. Every single day of my life I have been hated, yelled at by people of this village. I have been blamed for so many deaths that I didn't even do. I have been attacked day in and day out just because I was stuck being the jail to your ka. Blaze looks away because she didn't realize just how much he has been through. I'm sorry, big brother. He looks at Suki before he starts rubbing her head. He didn't want someone who had nothing to do with this to be sorry. You never have to be sorry because you had nothing to do with this. He smiles to her before closing his eyes, listening to the quietness of the room right now. Is there anything we can do to help you in our ka? He looks up at the oldest kitsune, but he knows nothing to help. He only can blame himself for stopping them from being with their own mother. You have nothing to blame yourself for. I'm the one that attacked this village in my anger, but please tell them that I miss them and love them dearly. He hears Kyuubi's soft voice, which he knows he can trust her on this one. She told me to tell you that she misses you and loves you. Suki smiles and hugs him, but Blaze just looks away still. You two can stay here if you like. He walks over to his small living room where his bed is. How are 3 people going to fit in this place? He just smiles before he looks at the two of them. You two will be sharing bed together and I'll be taking the floor, that's how. He puts one of blankets and pillow he had as spares onto the floor and lies down. Blaze was moved by the fact that a human is doing so much for a demon like them. She takes her little sister's hand and moves her to the bed. They both lie down before she gives one last look at Naruto before closing her eyes. When Naruto wakes up in the morning, he heads to the kitchen, but he smiles before starting to cook breakfast for the two of them. He didn't have much to eat because of how village treats him, but what little he has he's going to share with them. You truly are the kindest human I have ever met, Naruto-kun. Kyuubi speaks to him in a soft tone of voice again. Naruto just smiles, but he forces on cooking the breakfast so he doesn't burn it or anything. The two of them slowly wake up thanks to how strong of a nose they have. Suki smiles when she smells the food. She slowly gets out of bed, but Blaze still is lying there and looked at her sister walking away. Naruto sees a sleepy Suki walking to him. He puts her food down on a plate and helps her to her sit. Blaze finally is out of the bed and watches him do that, but she lets out a tiny smile but quickly hides it. She looks around the kitchen and notices there really isn't much food. Why is he doing this for us? I almost killed him, but yet he forgives me, but now he's feeding us. He moves Blaze so that she's sitting down in her chair. I don't understand you, human. Why do you do all this for us? Naruto just looks before he starts to eat his food. I do it because it's right thing to do. My name is Naruto Uzumaki, not human. She quickly looks away before starting to eat the food he made them. Suki is enjoying herself, but she just stares at her sister and Naruto. Her eyes keep looking at them and hoping that they do get along. I have to go now, but you two should stay inside so no one tries to hurt you. He gets up and changes his clothes in the bathroom before leaving. He gives one last look before leaving his place to meet his team. He doesn't know if he should keep it from his team or to tell them, but right now he has to force on keeping them safe no matter what. When he gets to the training grounds and sees that his team is waiting for him, he slowly walks up to them. "What are we doing today?" Hopeful as a mission. Drake just smiles and shakes his head at how hyper Naruto is. "I guess we do a mission, what do you girls think?" They nod their head before Drake looks at Naruto. "Lead the way to the Hokage Tower, you're the one that wants to do mission the most." Naruto smiles and nods his head before leading them to the Hokage Tower. When they finally get inside the office, Naruto stares at the Hokage. "Give us a mission, old man." Hokage lets out a light laugh before looking at what rank D missions he has for them. "You can paint a house owned by Sume Inuzuka." Drake nods his head before dragging his yelling team out. They were yelling that this wasn't missions for shinobis. Once they out of the tower, Drake stares at his team before shaking his head softly. "You have to do rank D missions to build up teamwork before you can do real missions, so faster you three train and become stronger in teammate, the faster you get real missions." He sees them understanding before leading them to Inuzuka clan house. Naruto knows who Sume is from the fact that he was in the same class as her son Kiba. He's seen both Sume and Hana visiting him all the time, either to give lunch that he forget or to check up on him. They get to the house to see Sume waiting with a smirk on her face. "I just got told that you're the team that's going to paint the house in the back." "That would be us, yes." Sume's smirk comes across her lips because she can't believe Drake was finally back in the village again. Everything's set up in the back, so get going already. She ordered them, but they just walked, causing to her smirk. Halfway through the painting, Naruto sits and sees Hana walking to what looks to be a pool just in a two-piece bikini that would turn anyone on for the fact that it barely covered her areas. She lies down on a towel before closing her eyes. Naruto turns around and goes back to working before anyone notices him drooling over her. Lucky for him, no one did notice. Once the team finally gets done painting, they really hate rank D missions. "You finally got done. I guess you will be heading to the Hokage to get paid now." Sume sees them nod before walking back inside, but she did notice how Naruto was staring at her daughter, but she didn't want to say anything right now about it. After they got paid and everyone left but Naruto, the Hokage just stares at him. He didn't know why the young boy is still here. "Old man, is there any way I can just do rank D missions on my own? Are you having money problems, Naruto-kun?" Naruto looks away but nods his head, causing Hokage to look sad. He always wanted to help Naruto, but this village forces him not to. "Sure, I can give you few rank D missions today." Naruto smiles before he giving the missions and heads to do each one of them. 5 hours later, which it's getting dark when Naruto finally gets done, but once he turns in the last mission, the Hokage pulls him aside. "Why don't I go with you to buy things so no one can cause any problems with you?" Naruto nods his head to the old man with a smile on his face because now he can get things at right cost, not overpaying for everything. Once they got done buying things, Naruto told him thank you and goodbye to the Hokage before heading home. It was fun seeing them be shocked Hokage was with him. It's true that payback can truly be a bitch like that. When he gets inside, he puts bags down on the table before putting things away. He slowly starts to make dinner for everyone. Once he gets done, he hears a knock on the door. He opens it to show Anko standing there by herself. She looks in to see both Kitsune girl and gives Naruto a deadly look. "Who are these two women in your house?" Naruto signs because this going to be one long night. He lets Anko in, but it was more like she walked in without asking and heads to the Kitsune girls. "Who are you and why are you in Naruto-kun house?" Blaze and Suki look up at her, but they just eat, causing Anko to get mad. "Tell me now." Anko was mad and Naruto just wishes that things would end peaceful. "Tell me about yourselves." Suki looks at him, but Blaze just looks away again. She didn't want him to know more about her. She can see Suki looking happy, causing her to sign because she would do anything for her little sister. "I and Blaze are sisters. Also, we both miss mommy, but we have a big brother." Naruto just lets a little laugh come out when he listens to her talk. Blaze also lets out a giggle, but she begins to stare at Naruto. You're one hyper little girl. He rubs her head, but he looks over to see Blaze, but once he does, she just looks away. He hopes that she doesn't hate him, but he guesses that she's still not used to being in a human place like this. Blaze-chan, how was your life before coming here? She looks at him but then just looks away again, but she can feel Sake pulling on her arm. She looks back at her younger sister and lets out a sign. It was okay, only hard part was trying to hide from humans. She told him, a tone that shows she didn't give a damn about her past. Naruto just rubs her head before getting up, but he looks back at them. Once I get home, I'll make you two some dinner. Naruto walks out of his place to wait for his team at their training grounds. Once he get there, he sits with his eyes closed. He becomes to rest, but he slowly loses track of time when he feels a hand on his back. When he opens his eyes, he sees long black hair covering his head, but he looks back to see Kurenai smiling at him before sitting down next to him. You trying sleep out here, or were you just waiting for us? Just waiting. So is it time to go to this party? She nods and points behind them to show him that both Drake and Anko are there looking at him. About time you three get done buying a gift. Shut up and let's go already. He smiles to his girlfriend before doing what she told him to, getting up from the ground, but he helps Kurenai up before walking over to them. Lead the way, Drake-sensei. They follow their sensei to the Inuzuka clan main house, but once they get inside they can see everyone by the pool. He notices Hana is in a bikini that covers more than the last one he's seen her in, but the color is a deep crimson color. It's good that you guys, girls, made it. They hear Sume say before moving over to them, but Naruto just nods his head only to get slapped upside head playful by Anko. It looks like you two are getting closer to each other. Feral smirk comes on her lips. Both of them blush before looking at each other, but Sume leads them closer to the party, but he sees that they is good number people but not a big party size. He also knows half of the people that are at this party for Hana. Hi Naruto, how your training going? He looks to see who's asking him, but he knows that voice anyway. Hello Kakashi Oni, I'm doing great in training. When are you going give him that one jutsu? Kakashi just laughs but shakes his head before patting Naruto's back when he leaves to talk to one of his Junin friends. You seem to know a lot of people, little Naruto-kun. He blushes but nods his head to Sume, but when they get to the pool and Hana walks over to them. Hello Ka-chan, and these must be the team you have been talking about. Yes, this is the team I have been talking about, but I wonder what did they get you for your birthday? Hana just stares at her Ka. They didn't have to get me anything because they don't even know me yet. We still got you something, so be happy Hana-chan. Drake teases her, causing her to just say fine. First gift was from Drake, and that is a dog stuffed animal toy, causing her just stare at him. Every year you get me one of these, I'm not a kid anymore. He just laughs alongside her Ka. Kurenai and Anko got her same thing, causing her to look at Drake, but he just shrugs his head, but Naruto takes the scroll out of his pocket and gives it to her. When she reads what it is before she pulled him into a hug with his head against her chest. Thanks to fact she wearing a bikini, he can even feel more of it. Once she gets done hugging him, she notices Anko staring pissed at her, causing her to let out a feral grin. Thanks again Naru-kun, I'll put this way right now. She puts the scroll in middle of her chest, which her bikini lets it from falling, but Naruto couldn't help but stare at her as she's doing that. Anko hits him, causing Hana to laugh before heading to her room, but Sume on the other hand just keeps smirking. She had no idea that her daughter could tease like that, but she guesses that she got it from her. Anko-chan, what's with the face? She looks at him and pulls him away from everyone, but once she does, she kisses him then slaps him. Don't look at women like that, only me you can look at like this, do you understand, fool? He nods his head before kissing her hard and moves her against the wall. Now that's better, let's get back to the others now. He takes her hand and the two of them meet up with their team. Where did the two of you go to? They both just shrug their shoulders to Drake, causing Sume to giggle. What was the scroll you gave my daughter to make her that happy? Naruto looks at Tsume because he knows he can't hide it forever now, can he? It's just a jutsu that will help her with her job. Tsume smiles before kissing his forehead and moving to her daughter, causing him to blush with all three of his teammates laughing. The birthday party went off great, but Anko almost killed him 2 times through the party. First time was when Hana came out of the pool wet and smirking to him, and the other time was when she gave him a kiss goodbye. He didn't know why Hana seemed to love making Anko jealous so badly, but he knows he has to make dinner for his 2 guests then sleep for tomorrow missions. When he gets inside his home he begins to cook dinner. When dinner gets done he called them over, but once they get over to him he puts their plates down on the table. Sake is the first to start eating, but Blaze glares at him before taking a bite of her food. What with the glare? He looks at Blaze, but she just forces on eating, not at all on him. Big sister just mad you took long time to make dinner. He lets out a laugh causing Blaze to blush, but Kyuubi giggles inside his head. It seems my daughters have taken a like you in their own ways. Naruto doesn't know what she means, causing her to laugh now before telling him in good time you'll find out. Naruto just eats his food but still tries figure out what she meant by that. Once they get done eating, Naruto washes the dishes, but he does look over to how the 2 sisters are getting along with each other. Sake just keeps bugging her big sister to play with her over and over again. A few hours later Sake falls asleep, which Blaze puts her in the bed, but she sits on the couch after whiles. Why are you doing all this for us? Naruto can tell she isn't going to let this go, but he just shakes his head to her. I'm doing this because it's the right thing to do. Why don't you just understand that? She just stares harder at her before walking over to him with her eyes locked on his. She moves her hand to his cheek before moving her face closer to his. Why should I even trust a word you say, human? I know my sister may be too young to truly know what humans are like. How you humans can't be trusted because all you about is power or something you want to have that you don't. Naruto just stares at her before taking her hand and holding it hard. You may not like humans and maybe you have good reasons, but don't act like all humans are evil like that. You don't know every single human in this world and you don't know me at all. If you don't trust me, fine, but I'm still going to help the 2 of you no matter what. Do you understand that? Blaze didn't say anything even when he lets go of her hand. She slowly moves to the couch to sit down. No one had ever had the guts to stand up to her like that, causing to be scared inside by this human in front of her. It wasn't that his power or anger that made her scared, it is that his kindness is the main reason why she's scared of him. Later that night Naruto feels something on his chest, but when he opens his eyes he sees Blaze sleeping on him, causing him to panic because he didn't know what is going on. You had stand up to her and that show her you may be good mate for her to have. I told you they like you in their own ways. Naruto didn't know what to do once he heard that because he already dating someone. One thing I should tell you, demons really don't have anything against sharing. Blood comes out of Naruto's nose, but he just shakes his head because he didn't know what Anko will do to him once she finds out. He can imagine that it's going to be painful and maybe his own death once she finds out, but he also knows he can't lie to her or hide that Blaze is trying to be his mate. He also just realizes that she's naked and beautiful. He runs a hand down her chest causing her eyes to open, but when she sees him touch her she kisses his lips. You seem so scared, I bet it's because you worried your girlfriend will do something to you. He nods his head because he doesn't want to be an asshole to the person he's dating. Don't worry, I'll talk to her about this tomorrow when you bring her over. You don't have nothing to worry about. You truly are too kind for your own good to know that, Naruto-kun. He gives another nod of his head, but she moves his head against her breasts. You are the first human that I can trust, but only that I can believe in you because you're a kind-hearted man who couldn't hurt anyone that shouldn't be hurt. I know you will become strong, Naruto, so don't worry so much. He slowly closes his eyes before letting sleep take him, but Blaze just holds him. She didn't know how this happened, but she is glad that it did. She slowly goes to sleep after him, but her arms still wrapped around him, holding the 2 of them close together, but her dreams weren't so nice. I just want to say thanks everyone who has gave me great feedback with all my stories, and it truly has helped motivation me greatly. To keep hearing how you guys, girls like my stories really is great to see. Blaze. I'm going have fun in this chapter. Anko. No you aren't. Blaze, sorry I meant we are going have fun. Anko. Blushes hard, no. On with the story. Naruto woke to the sound of yelling only for him to open his eyes to find out what the hell was going on. He could see that both Anko and Blaze were screaming at each other. He looked to the bed to see Sake still in a deep peacefully sleep. He slowly made it to his feet with his eyes back on the two girls that were about to kill each other. What's going on? It's too damn early for all this noise, so calm down please. He looked to notice Blaze only in a cooking apron. He couldn't help but stare at her body. He looked over to Anko, who just seemed not only to be pissed off but hurt showed in her eyes. He never wanted her eyes to show hurt like this because it hurt him as well. Anko-chan, you can't handle him by yourself, trust me on this one. One woman or even two can't last longer than him when comes to mating. Anko along with Naruto felt heat coming to their faces at rapid rate. He stared at Blaze, not understanding what she meant by not handing him. You have more stamina than anyone because of mother being inside of you like she is. Even I can't handle you fully myself, and I are a fully blooded demon. Plus we demons do normally share our males, so it's nothing I don't mind doing. Anko stared at her like she was just out of her damn mind in order to stare someone like that. Blaze laughed at how Anko reacted to her words just then. Why the hell? Anko yelled on the top of her lungs out of embarrassed. She looked over at Naruto, who just shook his head. That was because he didn't know what the hell is going on right now in front of him. Blaze had said she would talk to Anko when he came back home with her, but he didn't think this would happen so soon, not this soon at least. The reason why we demons share our males is because there is far too less males than females. I am okay with sharing him with other women, but are you? She studied the young girl in front of her, wondering what she will do next. She never could understand how humans could live the way they do and still live on. He is a nice and caring person, nothing bad at all. I guess I could share him if I had no say in it at all. She sat down on the couch only for him to do the same. She watched Blaze sat down on his lap only for her to look away. Don't be shy because you should be doing things like this to him, don't forget that. She teased Anko while she just moved the apron off her body only to watch Anko blush even harder. She weren't let herself lose to this kitsune thanks to her pride and stubbornness. She got up and undressed fully only to stand in front of Blaze. I'm not going to lose to you. Blaze smirked only to get up to her feet to face Anko while standing. Naruto on the other hand couldn't help but feel his pants getting tight. He watched two women just get naked right in front of him and couldn't think of what to do that wouldn't get him killed right now. Naruto Oni, is breakfast almost ready? Sake moved over to them, not bothered by the two naked females. He just smiled and walked to the kitchen, thanking Sake in his head. What's the matter? Why not just mate both of them right now? I know my daughter won't mind. Naruto just stopped in his tracks and shook his head hard before starting to cook breakfast while a fox laughed inside his head. Once he was done, he set the food down and watched all three of them walk inside to sit down at the table. He smiled before taking his own sit only to watch them enjoy his food, causing him to feel happy. He started to eat only to stop when he felt his arm being poked by Sake. Can I ask you something, Naruto Oni? He nodded his head to her. How come you live alone? Where is your family? Sake asked while her head moved to the side, staring up at him. She didn't realize that wasn't good thing to ask, only for Blaze to watch, wondering why as well. That's a hard question. My family has died. The four-road Hokage Minato Namikaze, my father went to stop your mother when she was in her rage. When he get to her, she had already killed many of the shinobis and villagers. He did something that would later cost him his own life. He stopped to take a breath. Anko on the other hand was shocked that his father was the Hokage. When she looked at him closer, she just wanted to hit herself for not noticing that he looked like a clone of the Hokage. How could she not see it? How could she not see it all this time while being so close to him? Her eyes just watched him trying to figure out what he was going to say next. He called up the god of death to seal Kyubi inside of me, it cost him his soul forever. My mother Kushina Uzumaki died alongside of him that day. Sake had her ears flat down listening because she was sad that her mother caused all this. She got out of her sit and hugged him. Blaze watched because he did tell them his mother got sealed, but not how in depth like this. She didn't know how he could not hate her family for what it had done to him. She watched her younger sister hug him like that. She remembered the only time her sister ever hugged a person this badly was when she found out her mother was gone and hugged her badly. I'm sorry, Naruto Oni. He rubbed her head only to tell her not to be sorry. No one can change how life goes or what people do. He looked at Blaze, who just looked away from his eyes. Now you have me and Blaze to keep you happy. Blaze's face turned red at that only to go back to eating fast. That is true, now start moving to your sit and eat your food before it gets cold. The little girl smiled and did what she was told, sitting now in her chair eating. She enjoyed his cooking, which could say a lot for the fact that a kitsune demon enjoyed a human's cooking. Once they finished eating, he took the plates and started to clean them. The three girls just went to sit on the bed together. He truly had one hard life. The two kitsune nodded in agreement only for them to stare at each other. What should we do to make him happy? Blaze smirked only for Anko to realize what she was going to say. She moved her head against the pillow with Blaze howled in laugh at how shy she was being. Sake on the other hand just stared at the two of them, confused at all of this. Naruto walked into the room only to wonder what the hell happened, then moved to bathroom to change his clothes. When he walked back out, he noticed Anko staring at standing up only to point at the time on the clock. I guess it's time for us to go see our team. Anko nodded and he went to kiss Blaze goodbye and pet Sake on the head, walking away leaving a pouting Anko. Her pout ended when Blaze gave her a long kiss only to make Naruto's jaw drop and Anko eyes to go shocked like. Once Blaze ended the kiss, she licked Anko's neck and went to lay down on the bed. Anko just slowly walked out of the room with mixed feelings. What just happened? She stared at her boyfriend, who still was in his own world, which she just kicked him in the leg. Stop your damn daydreaming. She yelled with a blushing face only for him to kiss her. I don't know why she did it, but she did say her race shares males, maybe they also share each other. Anko just hid her face only for him to laugh while she was still hiding her face with her hands. He took her hand and slowly started to walk away with his hand holding onto hers. She smiled to herself, even if she didn't know what will happen next time she was around Blaze, but at least she had someone who cared about her. She moved closer into his side while they walked together hand in hand to their team meeting. I know tons of things happening at you at once with us dating and these two girls coming into your life. Please tell me something with all that has happened to you. I just want to know, are you happy now? He stopped and looked back at her with softened eyes. Yes, I never been this happy before meeting you and them. You three truly saved me from my own sadness. Thank you, Anko Haim. She smiled to him, then kissed him hard. Their arms move around each other and didn't care if anyone seen them kissing each other. They just wanted to hold each other right now, no matter what. She no longer cared about sharing him now with Blaze or anyone for that fact, because she was the reason he was happy. That was all that mattered to her, because she was part of the reason that saved him from his own pain and sadness. She had smiled once the kiss ended. Her head was now resting on his neck with her arms around him still. So touching, don't you think so, Kurenai-chan? Both of them jumped apart when they heard someone behind them. They looked to see their team watching them. They had grins on their faces only to cause both of them to feel heating coming to their faces. Look what you did, Drake Oni. You ruined the touching moment. Kurenai started scolding her big brother in front of the two lovebirds. He just shrugged and started walking to the training grounds, followed by the rest of them. You two need to stop being late. I won't let you turn into another Kakashi with how he always late for everyone. He caused at Kakashi's lateness when came to just about every single thing that happened. He would never understand how someone could always show up late at everything like that, even a wedding. When they got to the training ground, Naruto told them who his family really was, much to Kurenai's shock, and scolded him for not telling her. Drake just told him he had already known all about that, and that was one of the reasons he picked to train him. He had known his mother very well, which he did miss her dearly. You know who my mother was? His sensei smiled to him, only to look up at the sky for a moment to try to think on just how life was about then. Yes, I know her very well. She was my sensei after all. She trained me, and she was also one scary ass woman, I mean scary as hell. When she got mad, her anger matched her long red hair perfectly, and I don't know how your father could handle her like he did. He shivered at the time he had the mistake of pissing her off, which was one day he would never forget the pain he got. Naruto couldn't help but laugh his ass off when he seen his own teacher scared lie that when talking about his mother, he had no idea she was that scary. He would have liked to meet her because of how she sounded right now. It's time we start our first rank C mission, let's start going to the Hokage Tower. He ordered while starting to walk to meet up with the Hokage, followed by his students. He didn't know how they would handle the mission, which he had faith they can do it. If he learned anything from being trained by Kushina, it was that you needed to have faith in your students even if they are all idiots. He still laughed to this time at how much an idiot he was growing up and how much a pain he was to her. He never did understand why she put up with all his shit like that. He was truly glad she did, because if it wasn't for her, he wouldn't have become who he was now. He wouldn't have had the chance to become a shinobi that would have lived to see her son growing up to be a great shinobi. He couldn't save them that day from the Kyuubi attack, but at least he can keep their son safe no matter what comes his way, even if it meant dying. He owned them that much at least, and he did wish they could see their son right now. Blaze. See fun. Smirked. Naruto. Daydreaming. Anko. Stop daydreaming. When the team got inside the Hokage officer, the old man had looked at them with a smile showing on his face. What can I do for you today? He always did like to see Naruto in front of him, well, the times he didn't cause trouble. Hokage cared for the boy like his own son, and yet Naruto did cause him tons of paperwork thanks to his pranks. Drake just stopped in front of his team with a smile of his own showing on his face. He didn't know if the Hokage would let them get a mission that high yet, and only way to find out was to try. He had felt they were ready for this, and he would be there to back them up if anything happens. We are here to do our first rank C mission, and yes, I do feel this team can handle it. The Hokage looked into Drake's eyes, then at what missions he had right now on his desk. He did know how Drake acted because he just reminded him of how Kushina acted when she was still alive. I do have one mission in that rank, and Neko-chan, can you please get me Hana Inuzuka? The hidden Anbu just left only for Naruto to sit down on the couch to wait, followed by Anko. She just sat down on his lap and let her back rest against his chest. She felt his arms moving around her, only for her to smile to herself. Do you like your sit? Anko blushed only to nod her head while her hands played with his fingers. Their hands slowly started to hold one another. Anko let her eyes close while he just did whatever he wanted to her body while they waited for Hana to show up. Anko started to worry about Hana and if she was going to try something to Naruto like Blaze has done. She didn't know why, but Hana seemed to be a threat to her because how she teased her boyfriend at her birthday party. She didn't know what would happen if Hana did try to be with Naruto, because she did agree to share him even if she doesn't want to at all. Once Hana got into the room with her three partners, the Hokage had stood up. The mission is a simply rank C, with Hana tracking down the group of bandits. Once they are found, your team along with Hana is to kill them, it's simply as that. Drake nodded and took the scroll from him on where the bandits were last spotted. He left the room with his team and Hana, who was giving Naruto stares to tease him. Hana-chan, you have 3 dog partners and not just one. Naruto did know how the Inuzuka clan fought alongside their dog partner, but normally it was just one. He never heard of anyone of them to have more than just one dog like this. Yay. Their partners are all brothers, which they don't want to be away from each other. I'm glad you know so much about my clan. I wonder what else you know. Hana bent down to look at him closer. Too close for Anko's taste. Hana just smirked over to Anko before she gave Naruto a kiss on the cheek and walked in front of him. She started move her hips, giving him a good show of her ass, which caused her to laugh hard when she looked back at his face. I need to get my gear from the house, then we can start tracking these fools down. She led them to her house while teasing him before entering the clan house. I wish she would stop teasing you. It's my job to do that. Anko let out a pout, only for Drake along with Kurenai to roll their eyes at the jealous girl. Naruto just rubbed her back to try and calm her down because he didn't want her to be mad. She means well, I think. Anko just stared at him only to look away before she reached for his hand, which she let her have. He just held her hand with his while they just looked at each other in the eyes, they just stared endless into each other. Anko didn't know why she couldn't look away, but she didn't, then she moved to give him a kiss. I wonder how long you two going to kiss for. Hana was now behind Naruto, only for both Anko and Naruto to jump away from each other. Hana giggled while Drake started to walk away while they followed him. Hana-chan, you didn't have breakfast yet. She shook her head, showing him that she didn't, only for him to take them to a little place to eat. Once the team got inside, that was when Naruto's mouth dropped because he could now see Blaze working inside as waitress. She just didn't have a tail or ears right now, which caused him to wonder just how she could do that. Naruto noticed one of the man at a table slap her ass when she walked past, only to cause him to grow pissed and was about to walk over to the bastard. Hana had stopped him and she walked over to the bastard only for him to stare at her like she was a fool. If you want to keep your hand, you better never do that again, or else I'll make sure you can't enjoy your nights anymore. Quote. Hana's glare only showed him she wasn't joking, and she aimed it lower for him to realize she was talking about cutting his part down there off. He slowly moved away from her and out the door, only for Naruto to stare at her in shock. Blaze only walked over to Naruto at the same time Hana did. I wonder who you are. Hana just stopped in front of Blaze only for her eyes to force on the older woman. I mean, you are here with Naruto-kun, which I'm glad you stopped him from doing something that could cause him trouble. Blaze had kissed Naruto, causing 3 of the 4 teammates to stare confused at Naruto. Anko-chan didn't tell you. I'm shocked she didn't tell you about me. She faked hurt only for Hana to roll her eyes at her. She didn't understand what was going on, and she never did like not knowing just what was happening around her. So he has 2 girlfriends or something? Blaze smirked at Hana, looking her up and down only for lips to turn into a smirk. What's with that smirk? Blaze only moved a finger to her lips while Hana waiting for Blaze to answer her question already. Yes, we are both of his girlfriends, and maybe he had found his third now. Blaze watched Hana laugh hard when she got finished speaking. Blaze didn't like how she was laughing like that, and she did know it was aimed at her Naruto. Sorry, but females from my clan need a true alpha to take and tame us, and he's way too young to get the job done. Blaze grabbed her arm and moved her mouth to the Inu dog's ears only for her to be shocked that Blaze moved so fast. You don't know how wrong you are, and trust me, he could take your damn ass and tame it so easy without even needing to try at all. Blaze moved back, letting go of the Hana's arm while her eyes watched Hana, studying her now. I'm not wrong, and if I was, I would bend over anytime my alpha wanted me to, and trust me, he can't do it. Hana walked off, pissed by how Blaze had talked to her like that. She could tell who was a god alpha for her and who wasn't, and she wasn't going let some fool tell her otherwise. What just happened? Kurenai asked out loud only for everyone beside Blaze to just shrug their shoulders, as clueless as she was. They had followed after her only for Blaze to watch with a smirking face because she did love to play with people's mind, it was one of her hobbies. Naruto didn't know why Blaze was even working there because she didn't tell him she was working as a waitress. He did know that he had to ask her about this later because he didn't know what would happen if they found truth about her. He also looked at Hana, hoping that Blaze didn't cause her to be too upset by whatever had happened in front of them. Hana-chan, I hope she didn't upset you too bad. Hana just stopped to stare at him because how was he not mad at her for insulting him back there? Hana's eyes studied him, trying to figure out if he was just this kind-hearted no matter what, or was it all a fake act that he was putting on. I'm fine and I'm not someone to get mad over something like that. We got a mission now. She took the scroll from Drake and started heading to where they could find these bandits. She needed something to get her mind off what had just happened back there. Once outside of Konoha, they kept on following after Hana and her partners, only for Naruto to look around. This would be the first time he has ever left the village before, and yet he doesn't feel scared. The only thing he feels is enjoyment to finally see what was outside of the world he had lived in. When Hana got the end of the tracks, she could see a tent and what seemed to be a group of men drinking while they started to cook food. Seems we found them and seem they have something there against their will. Drake pointed out while his finger showed them there was a woman tied up with her clothes still on. Naruto rushed, only for Drake just hit himself on the head. Hana on the other way followed him with her partners. Before he could attack the bandit, they could see him coming and got up to fight, only for Hana and her partner to use their rotating fang. They started to roll, forming four-looking buzz saw cutting into the bandits. A man comes out of the ground behind Hana, only to grab her in a lock hold. Now it looks like we got another play toy to try out later. Naruto rushed at the man holding Hana and hit him right in the spine with a Rasengan. The man yelled out in pain before dying from his spine breaking with the bones cutting into his heart. You won't use anyone for your toys. Naruto started to grow even more pissed when he watched the bandits start to come up to them. His eyes become slits with red chakra coming wild around him, only for him to stand his ground. Now Kyuubi-chan, please give me all you power that you can give me. I won't let you touch that woman over there, or Hana-chan. She is my friend, do you understand me? Naruto's chakra just kept growing darker when his whiskers become darker with his Naruto fully became slits. No matter what he was going, let anyone hurt the ones he cared about, and he was also royally pissed the hell off. Hana could only fall on her ass while watching up at him in awe because she didn't know he had this side to him. She had always thought of him as a shy, caring boy, yet her eyes are now staring at more feral-looking Naruto. She couldn't help but let her eyes wander while he was in this stat, only for her to hear both Kurenai and Anko running over to her. When both of them got over to the two of them, they had mixed feelings on what they were seeing in front of them. Each one of them had their own thoughts, only for Hana to stand up staring at the two younger females. Anko just stared because she did know in her heart he weren't let this power make him do anything he weren't do normally. She had and always will believe in him to do the right things, even if he's pissed or using Kyuubi's power like he was right now. Her eyes just watched him and just felt a tiny bit sad that he was like this right now. Kurenai just stared in shock right there. He had told them what was inside of him when he talked of his family. He didn't think any less of him, and she still didn't, but her eyes still couldn't believe what she was seeing. It was like she was watching someone else right now, and the caring and kind Naruto she had been friends with was gone. No matter what happens, I'll never let you hurt them. Even if I have to become a monster that the village has claimed I am. The bandits moved back in fear from his aura, only for two older men to just walk in front of the fearful weaklings. You think you can stop us all by yourself? Like that would ever happen, and even now the boss is taking care of your team leader. It won't be long till he's back to kill the rest or your group or use them to his liking. His eye aimed at Hana, only to cause Naruto to become even more pissed off. Naruto had now grown one of his chakra tails, only to move down on all fours with his finger now becoming claws and his teeth into fangs. Hana couldn't stop herself from staring at him now because she didn't know how far he was going to change into. Don't tell me that girl from before was right. Could he handle me that easily? Naruto is pissed off. What will he do next? Is the bandit leader that strong to take on a Junin so easily? What will happen now that Hana is starting to question herself? Where the hell did my cookies go to?